fed. Today's results are all laid bare. Leg before or caught behind. Jokes will fly and seldom kind. Stories spun with foolish pride. So open that beer and enjoy the ride.
Wow. What a day. That was a hell of a game today. Unfortunately, it wasn't one I played in because we got cancelled due to the heat. But I heard there was another game going on in some little regional ground in South Australia, which turned out to be quite entertaining and gave us a bit of well, thankfully, it dragged on. In hindsight, after Australia won it, thankfully it dragged on a bit longer than we would have liked. But given the amount of driving I had today and sitting around, it was good that it sort of lasted. So anyway, today was supposed to be City Classics, Castle Hill versus. Sorry, guys, is it Old Ignatians? Let me just check that to get it right. Can never remember team names properly, especially ones that aren't just named after somewhere. Old Ignatians Cricket Club, yes. With our old mate Garlo. Really, really good, for want of better terminology, servant of cricket. Garlo very heavily involved in Port Jackson veterans program, and has specifically asked me to do a match report today, despite the fact that we didn't have a match. So always happy to accommodate Garlo. I'll see if I can find some crap to waffle on about for a little bit of time to keep you all entertained. So yeah, today we all knew it was going to be a hot day. Depending on where you were, some guys playing for, I think Warringah were playing Mossman out at Mossman, a little bit closer to the coast. So I think hopefully they got on. I think their temperature was going to be down. We were at Ryde against Old Nations, and temperatures were forecast for 38. The rules are different for every different comp, depending on who's running it. So when we play Hornsby in the Hornsby Cricket Association on Saturday, they have their rules. When we play City Classics for Masters, Classics, Veterans, or Vintage, whatever the other 60s is, they have another set of rules. Some use temperature, as we did today with the bomb. Some use feels like temperature at the bomb. Some use the actual temperature. Our Hornsby one, we use a special website which you go to, which gives you like a heat stress index or something. So you've got certain levels of that. So they all do differently. The rules we were playing under today were, I believe, if it's over 34 degrees, you have extra drinks breaks. If it's over 36, you can't play. Having a black and white or a proper umpire to do today, obviously we're at not at the mercy of him. I mean, I don't think he's really got a lot of discretion. I mean, they're pretty clear. You look at the bomb, if the temperature's over 36, you don't play. If he was to put us on the field and something happened and it was over 36, then he'd be liable. So he's kind of not necessarily hamstrung. He's just follow the rules, and they're very cut and dry. They're basic metrics. If the number's higher than this, you can't play. Deal with it, boys. So yeah, for me, calling the Central Coast and saying I had a big drive, it's probably not that big a deal. I mean, the guys from Castle Hill still had probably an hour or so to drive down Victoria Road to get to Ryde. So left 10 o'clock this morning, got down there. Probably the biggest concern for me at this time of year, and we had Aussie come in today. Aussie was going to captain today. However, unfortunately, he tweaked his calf again yesterday, playing for Southern Spirit, the same club Nick plays for. So Aussie came down. So I had a big drive as well. And we got there. What was due to start at 12:15, 11:30. Sort of when we get there, I probably got there about 11:15. Tiny was there when I got there, and it was under 36 at the time. But I mean, we knew it was going up. So umpire went and put the stumps out. We all felt pretty good. Had a beautiful looking deck. I mean, the ground was great. The Ignatian guys have put on a brilliant ground for us. I was going to say we were lucky, but we weren't because we didn't play. But we would have been a brand new deck. So generally we play on the Sunday, so the deck would play on would be like A grade would have played the day before. So we're playing on a second day deck, which is not a big deal. We get some great wickets. And as somebody who plays on Saturdays, I've got to be honest, playing on a used turf wicket with a proper black and white umpire on some of these grounds that are much flatter for fielding is a fucking hell of a lot better than playing on a Syntho wicket. That's a soccer field in the winter and it's got tufts of grass, and you're umpiring against 19-year-old arseholes. So there's no complaints about what we normally play on. But today, covers didn't go on Friday night. There was a bit of a storm Friday night, so the A-grade guys couldn't get on yesterday because it was a bit wet. Had a day to dry out, so we had a brand new wicket to play today. It was smick, looked so nice. Was keen to have a bowl on it, but unfortunately the heat was just it was over 36. Sat around for like an hour and a half or whatever. Watched a bit of the test match, which was good. Again, as I said, they dragged the test match out for us, which was nice. Listened to it driving down. Well, they started at 10:30, so I left at 10. By the time I got petrol and whatever, say 10:15. So 15 minutes of listen to the pre-day preamble, and then listen to the beginning of the fifth day of the test on the way down. As I got there, they went off for rain, so didn't really miss much there. We fiddled around, did what we did, and then we had to sort of sit around and kind of wait for what the umpire was going to do. There was talk at one point as to whether it might cool down by 3. So if we hung around and waited for 3 and played a shortened game. I'm always keen for a game of cricket, and figured if we played a shortened game, if we're finishing at 6 or 6:30, it's the same time as if we didn't play a shortened game of cricket. So for me, it would have made no difference, aside from the fact that it was just kind of hot and we're so close to Christmas. But then, personally, I started thinking, well, I think there were storms due. So the last thing we do is get on at 3 and then have it piss down rain at 4 o'clock, and we just wasted all that time. I'm not sure what I could have gone and asked, but I didn't give a shit. I did what I'm told. I know the skipper spoke with the umpire and a few other people did, and the umpire called it off for whether he made it or whether it was a captain's decision, I don't know. But once they started handing around the ham and cheese sandwiches, which were fantastic, by the way. I'm not sure who brought those, Garlo, but can you thank them? They were nice and cold. I like that. A couple of those, and there was some oranges and watermelons. So once tea came out, and we hadn't started yet, and then the esky got open, and someone said, "Who wants a beer?" I figured we're going to hear pretty soon that it's off, and we sure did. So I got to have a beer and have a bit of a chat with the boys and whatever. Yeah, good bunch of guys. Not sure if Bomber watches this, but shout out to Bomber, who's got a baby due in 5 weeks. Hope all goes well with that. And next time we see you, you'll be looking like a very, very tired man, as we've all done. So that's kind of it for today. Called it off. Sat with the phone while we're sort of hanging around, watched a bit more of the test. Got a bit nervy, got in the car, drove home, and got home, or pulled into the parking spot out the front as the second last wicket got taken. I think Archer walked inside, grabbed a beer, and sat down and watched the last wicket fall and watched the presentation. So kind of did fill in my day. Got to listen to a bit of cricket either way on the drive. Managed to avoid the Sydney traffic, or the M1 traffic wasn't as bad as I was expecting. It was pretty rubbish yesterday when I drove down, like coming up the coast. By the time I came home in the afternoon, it was fine. Same thing driving down this morning, because I was coming home earlier today. I was a bit concerned there'd still be a bit of traffic around. There's a lot of cars, but there was no stops, no sitting in traffic for a long period of time. That's about it. Didn't play because it was hot. Ground looked fucking immaculate, so it's sad we didn't get to play. Great to catch up with the likes of Garlo and Bomber. There's a couple of other old Nations guys that I've played against before, but I don't sort of know their names, so I haven't played with them as extensively. I might come across them every year or so, but I recognise some faces. We're all getting old, so you probably say the same thing about me, so I'm sure nobody's going to be offended. So great to see you guys. Our guys were there. Everyone turned up, all keen for a game. Very disappointed. Big shout out to Ribs, who didn't play yesterday because his ground was uncovered. So had himself a few beers and had to be dragged kicking and screaming there today, but turned up, just despite the fact that we're going to be off for heat. Joe's who's done his shoulder, can't bowl, but put his hand up to come and play the bat because it was short. To Aussie, hope you recover soon, Aussie. Shame sort of good chance to have a bit of a captaincy today, bit of a, not a practice, but because I'm sure you know how to captain the team. You've been around for cricket your whole life. For those of you who don't know, when we have our Castle Hill over 50 sides going to England in July, August next year. And obviously, we've got to share some of the load around between Jamesy and Mick captaining. So Aussie's going to captain. I'm not sure if it's a game or a couple of games or whatever. So he was going to have just a bit of a captaincy run with the boys today, just so we could, I don't know, find out what a hard ass he is and that he won't bowl us, and you know, open the bowling, open the batting. I'm kidding, Aussie. I know you're not that kind of guy. Yeah, so was what it was. They got a good little clubhouse up on the top of the hill at Rod. So even though it was boiling hot out of the centre, we're up sitting under the shade, getting a bit of a breeze through. So it certainly wasn't an oppressive day. Yeah, I feel like I could waffle on for a while about general shit, but there's probably not much else to do. Yeah, that's it. Apologies if it's a bit sort of bright here. It's I wanted to have the backdrop and not sort of go to just in front of one of the walls or whatever. So, but because the sky's so bright, it seems to I'm just using an iPad camera, so it was a bit too bright for it. So I pulled the curtains across. So I think it's okay, but it feels like it's a little bit sort of blurry. But it could also be the fact that my glasses are fucking filthy. Yeah, that's it. Talk to you all guys later. Any comments you want to say? Just yeah. I hope some of the other guys in the classics, whether it's Div 1 or Div 2 guys, mates of mine from Port Jackson, hopefully I'll see you guys for the over 50s in Dubbo in February. Gallo indicated that I think even some of those are sort of qualified for the over 55s are playing 50s, so I don't know what I didn't press on the team makeups because I don't think they know yet until everybody's confirmed they're going. But hopefully we might sort of get a similar team again. With any luck, we might get the orange team back under Dave, who's I've been lucky. All my skippers have been actually in the course of my cricketing career been quality guys, and Dave's no exception. So with any luck, Dave, you'll get the orange team back together and we'll have another tilt. So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. Thank you. Bye.
So there you go, that's our day.